I'm going to single out books. I could do the same for lectures. But I want to talk about the three central disabilities we think of books as having as instructional environments for your students and mine. First, books are disabled in who they can teach. I've shown you these slides and stuff to say books work very well for some students and very poorly for others. Math, you can't use them for two reasons. You can't hold them and turn their pages, and he's dyslexic, and it's a tough thing for him to learn history, science, and geography out of those books. They don't work well across all the students. In fact, probably everybody here has children and students for whom books are not a great learning instrument. What's not right is to keep labeling the kids as the problem. Okay? Second, books are disabled in what they can teach successfully. Books, there's a book that's come out just recently about why print, the Gutenberg revolution, ruined the teaching of mathematics. And the argument is that math was taught better in the 16th century than it is now because it was hands-on, it was math about real things, and people were really taught math. And what ruined the teaching of math was, after Gutenberg, you had to only do the math that could be explained well in words. And as for, I hope you're all reading, and that means only worse for kids who are dyslexic. Okay, so they're not, in fact, books are not effective. They're disabled in teaching math, in teaching science, in teaching lots of subjects. They're pretty good at teaching novels, but it's a limited range of things at which books are really good at. And thirdly, as learning technologies, books have disabilities in how they prepare our students for their future. There's nobody in this room that doesn't think that a wide range of powerful technologies is what our students are going to be using as they get their first job. And yet our schools are still largely a print medium and lecture medium. And when we are not using new media in our schools, we are not preparing students for their future. Every student, students with disabilities included. Now, I'm not bashing the schools for this. We don't, in fact, support enough taxes to provide the instructional technologies that schools really need. It's our faults, too. So what are our options? Typically, when we have a wide range of diversity in our classrooms, the first thing we think of is, well, let's get a dumbed-down version of our books in some way for kids that are having trouble reading. And that's a horrible injustice for lots of reasons. And the alternative that I want to propose is that we need to smarten our books up. And I want to talk about a little bit about how you do that. Mainly, we can use the great power of new technologies to individualize instruction so that, in fact, it fits for a broader set of students, and to provide more powerful instructional methodologies. And that's what Universal Design for Learning is about, is how do we, in fact, create learning materials that everybody can see, can read, can learn from. What kind of... let me show you a different kind of book that's out commercially. I wanted to show you, talk about three things that I think are very promising for the future. So let me tell you what this is. I'm opening up a book called The Giver. How many of you have middle schools? Okay, lots of people. It's one of the most popular books assigned across the country. And what Scholastic did was we brought prototypes, worked for years here in Massachusetts to figure out how do we make books that are going to be much more universally designed. And then we brought again to Scholastic, who then bought the rights to Tuck Everlasting, Bridge to Terabithia, Giver, blah, 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 a whole bunch that are really all award-winning books, the best of the books that students read in middle school. And I apologize, I'm choosing middle school. It's kind of in the middle of the range here. There's other things I can talk about later for elementary and high school. But anyway, so thinking readers, what do you get? You get same book, and I'm just opening it up in the middle here. Same book. Everybody's going to be reading the same book. We want it universal. We're all studying The Giver. But what's different? We can make it accessible in lots of ways. For example, simple things you can do. What if you need larger text? We don't need a large print version, which is often not large enough, and so on. We can just say, well, how large do we need it? And we can make it the right size, or we can make it really small if you want it, whatever. We have the flexibility, not a big deal. What's a bigger flexibility?
Usually, at the morning ritual when the family members told their dreams, Jonas didn't contribute much. He rarely dreamed. Sometimes he awoke with a feeling of fragments afloat in his sleep, but he couldn't seem to grasp.
Okay, so if you're blind, the whole book will read itself aloud to you gorgeously. You don't have to go and do anything or buy anything special. It's in a beautiful voice. You notice it has music. You may wonder, why is the music there? Well, in fact, as you know, for students with Asperger's, for example, the hardest part is to get the affect of what's going on. Music is just another cue. If you use it, by the way, you use it in the movie theater. If they turn the sound off in the movie theater, you don't know what's going on either. You don't know whether it should be happy or sad or it's whatever. So it's an emotional track, and there's a little emotional track in here. By the way, you can turn all of these features on or off. They're not for everybody. Use them as you need them. What are some other barriers we typically... By the way, I'm not going to bother to show it, but I can make that reading go, highlight each word at a time, so it's incredibly slow and it guides me along as I'm reading. I can have it go very fast if I'm ADD. I can have it be in a girl's voice. I can have it be in a boy's voice. I can have all the text be purple. I mean, there's a million options I can have. I can say, I want this book to look like me and to respond to me. What about language? Kids sometimes don't know the words. Easy to find. You just click on the word, say, what's that word? If English isn't my first language, give it to me in my real language, etc. It's a multiple representation, both what the word is in language and drawing and so on. These and other things are just to say, let's get rid of the barriers. First, we want to make sure you can see all the words and know what they are. But that's not real reading. So that's the background. What I want to show you is what's the powerful stuff here. The powerful stuff is that we want kids to become better readers, to become strategic, strong readers. But a lot of kids don't have the opportunities to get much practice. Teachers have rare time to work individually. So what we needed to do is make the book individualized to the kid so it knows where are you in your reading and how can I support you. So watch what happens. I'm reading along and I come to a place like this and it says, this is a good place to stop and think about the story.